I'm sorry, I forgot my cheat sheet, so I'm doing this a little bit from memory. John has been a resident of Moscow for 60 to 70 years. He's been involved civically for approximately 25 years. He's very proud to have been a founding member of the Urban Renewal Agency, and other than a 4-year hiatus, he has always been a member and is a current member. He's also the liaison from the city to the Fair and Affordable Housing. I think I've got that name right. He's a Moscow High and St. Mary's School graduate. He has a degree in a Bachelor of Science and a Master's of Business from both the University of Idaho. He takes Moscow very seriously. He really likes helping people. He has an open door policy. He wants to see Moscow grow in a very conservative, fiscally careful way. His first emphasis is to make sure, I think it was Walter that said, what a city needs to do first is to protect the town, provide the infrastructure, water, sewer, garbage, parks, fire department, police department. That's where the money needs to go first, and if there's any left over, he is more than willing to talk about spending money other places, but he wants to make sure your money is spent very conservatively and very carefully. Thank you.
Once again, I'm representing Brandy Sullivan. Thanks to Louise and AARP for just like this. Again, I'm reading this from Brandy. My husband and I moved to Moscow 20 years ago for his job at the University of Idaho, and this is where we will stay. I'm constantly learning from my interactions with a wide demographic of people through my diverse roles in the community, which include business owner of One World Cafe, speech pathologist at Brittany Medical Center, parent of 2 high school-aged children, and vice chair of the Urban Renewal Agency. My involvement in the community and city, both as a city commissioner and an engaged citizen, has grown over the years, and I'm ready to contribute more by serving in a thorough and thoughtful way, considering the needs of all of our residents. One of my goals is to ensure that every member of our community knows that city government is listening to them and working with them as Moscow continues to grow and develop. My diverse experiences and interactions in our community bring the insights and range of skills that are needed in an elected official, and I feel a responsibility to bring those attributes to our city government. There are a lot of great projects underway and in the planning stages going on here in Moscow, but we also need to attend to the less glamorous aspects of city government, such as ensuring fiscal responsibility and accountability when planning our annual budget, ensuring that our streets and infrastructure are adequate and accessible to all, and working to ensure a continued safe, good quality of life for all, regardless of age, income, or background. I believe it's important that councilors can disagree while still working together, and that citizens can make their opinions known without fear they'll be seen as troublemakers. It's critical we can disagree and still respectfully listen to each other on the road to achieving our common goals. I will ensure that voices are heard from all sides on an issue, and I will appreciate the opportunity to contribute to our future by serving on the Moscow City Council. Thank you.
As I indicated earlier, Ann had an emergency and was not able to send a delegate, so as long as we've had 2 city council speakers, Rob, we'll start with you, and we'll continue this way with our city council candidates.
Thank you very much. I know Louise didn't intend this to be, but this has been a really intimidating experience for me. To start off with, my wife has the stop sign. And I hope you don't bring it home, please. The other thing is that the wonderful Mary Konitz, who was my piano teacher when I was in grade and high school, is sitting in front of me. I feel like I haven't been practicing enough. You're right, I haven't. So, I'd like to read a quote to you because I hope is going to tell you who I am and what I believe in as being a city councilor. This comes from the regional economic report that Steve Peterson released on Wednesday. And it says, it could be argued that the $119 million realignment project on the Pullman-Moscow Airport is the most important cooperative success story by Latah County, Whitman County, Moscow, Pullman, University of Idaho, WSU, and the local business community. Of course, you all know that I had a considerable involvement in the airport, but what it says to me is what we can do as a region when we cooperate and work together, what we can do as a team. That's what I'm all about. Teamwork, regional cooperation. If I'm on city council, that's what you'll get from me. Thank you.
Wow. I'm still Gina Terusio from the beginning. I'm still that person. And I'm speaking to you today at the end of what seems like the longest incurable cold that I've ever had this year. It's a monster. So I thought when I was writing this speech, I thought I'd share a couple more of my incurable moments with you and maybe tell you a little bit of my ending thoughts here for today. I am an incurable collaborator. I seek the team. As a city council person, I'm looking forward to those moments to bring a group of concerned citizens together to solve a problem. I am so proud of our runway realignment project on many fronts, but it also means a lot to me in finding our water future as well. We have laid the groundwork for that kind of conversation to happen. I'm also an incurable communicator. Those of you that know me know that it usually doesn't stop until I'm sleeping. So I am always happy to sing the praises of Moscow and to tell you about the great businesses and the amenities here. As an economic developer in my day job, I support very strongly the Southeast Moscow Industrial Park so that when I do my job well, those businesses have a place to go. I'm an incurable optimist. I know right now in our nation we are pretty divided. And sometimes even in Moscow it feels like we're fighting each other a little bit. I know that we will come back together, that we will solve the enrollment problem at the University of Idaho. We will work and solve the problem of funding for the ice rink. And just a little bit of sunshine. Do you know our farmers market, our fabulous farmers market, has sat comfortably in the top 20 in the nation for how many years now? 7, 8, 9? And we should be very proud of that. So what you're going to get when you vote me in on November 7th, look at me being positive, is a collaborative, communicating, optimistic city council member. Thank you.
I'm Walter Steed, and again, I want to thank you for having us here today. Before joining the council, I served on the Moscow Transportation Commission for 9 years, the last 4 as chair. As a council member, I served for 9 years on the Palouse Basin Aquifer Committee in order to learn more about our aquifers and how to keep our water flowing. I continued my work on water issues serving on the Association of Idaho Cities Municipal Water Users Board and the newly formed Water Reuse Task Force. For years, I've been the member of the council who questions the details of many of the items that come before us. Discussions with city staff outside council meetings can lead to better understanding of upcoming issues. During this year's campaign, I've been asked what is Moscow's most pressing issue. For me, it is our streets. They are falling apart. We all lived through the disruption and challenges of driving around Moscow this past summer during road reconstruction. However, out of a total of 80 miles in the city street system, less than 1 mile was reconstructed. Another 8 miles were slurry sealed, but highways 8 and 95 work was funded by and done by ITD. While driving on Joseph Street by the community playfields and on 3rd Street past the high school is now a much less challenging mission of trying to stay out of the ruts and to jump around the repaired potholes. How many drive on the far greater number of side and residential streets that are an absolute embarrassment for our community? These streets also need to be rebuilt. Regarding my approach to working on the council, I have the courage to take a stand and have been told my observations, comments, and questions can be beneficial. I have a sound record of making steady, mindful, and common sense decisions, and I believe they profit the community. If re-elected, my willingness to listen, my moderate voice on the council, and my knowledge of the issues will allow me to continue to help Moscow be a desirable place to live, work, and play. I would thank you for your vote.
I've been here in Moscow for 37 years now, not because I had to live here, but because I wanted to live here, because Moscow, to me, fits just right. So I got involved with city government back in 2003 when I got onto the Planning and Zoning Commission, and I called that my city home for a decade. After that, got onto the city council for the past 4 years, and as I look back on what went on over these 4 years, we've done some good stuff. We implemented single stream recycling. We got the airport realignment project working. We produced the Joseph Street ball fields. We're working with the ice rink people to put up a new ice rink. And we're making progress on all kinds of other issues. We're providing the infrastructure that the city needs to be the place that it is. Coming up in the next 4 years, there's some challenges significant in front of us that I'd like to see addressed, and that's why I'm running again, including the start of the Southeast Industrial Park to provide a place for businesses to come and have a home here in this town. Also, to continue the development of the Legacy Crossing area to expand the cooperation and actual physical connection between the university and downtown. And I really want to see that one through as well. Further, relative to the water, each year we spend not actually doing something about it is another year we fall behind. City Council needs to look beyond just the immediate nature of our problems and challenges. We need to look far across the horizon and position this town to be in the best position it is to go forth into the future. Not for us, because we're not apt to be here, but for our children, our friends, and other people who will come to this town in the future. So, as Gina pointed out, we need to go forward with optimism and work together to make this town the better place that it can be.
And now, Rob, did you make a closing statement? Yes, so we've done our candidates. So Bill, as a mayoral candidate.
Thank you, AARP, for hosting this. I am a 15-year proud member of AARP, and I know many of the concerns that happen with AARP because I get the magazine every single month, and I always send money in for those folks who can't quite afford an AARP membership, and I think that's something that I do because we need the voices of our seniors, and I'm clearly a senior. I also want to thank the 9 candidates that are running for 5 positions here in Moscow, Idaho. It's a very important thing, and that's about democracy, ladies and gentlemen. You have a choice of who you want to elect. And I'm proud of the fact that we've got 9 people. I'm proud of the fact that being the incumbent mayor, as well as the council that I worked with, has been diversified council, and they've done an excellent job in my view. And I actually appreciate the facts for the new folks that are running. Again, either they ran before and held office before, or they're very new to the game. And that's a very important part for us because we have a wonderful community. We don't need to just sit here and talk about it. We've got a diverse community, we are a progressive community, we move forward. I, as the mayor, my job is to have that collaboration between all of our players, our University of Idaho, our Chamber of Commerce, our school district, the city of Pullman, where we work together on big projects for the Palouse, because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Palouse. This is not just us, it's the Palouse. And oh, by the way, our friends from Latah County, very important. We got good county commissioners that we can work with. And we got one of them right there, Tom Lamar, and we work well together. That's how we get things done. We do things in collaboration, working together. And that's very, very important for us. Myself as an AIC member, which is Association of Idaho Cities on District 2, that I'm a board member of, it's a big deal for us to get things done. And I have people from the state all the time ask us, how do you do this in Moscow? And I'm very proud to say it. And it's because of the nice, cool, diverse community that we live in. I look forward to leading us for another 4 years. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you for putting this on. It's a great pleasure to be here. I want you to know that you can go to the website or go to Facebook and read everything you wanted to know about me, probably much more than you wanted to know. However, there is one thing that I want to do today, and you are here representing Moscow. So I want to tell you thank you. Thank you for being a wonderful community, the community that literally saved my life. In the summer of 2012, I had a disaster of a health issue, and I was near death a number of times. The Grim Reaper was really coming and getting me. Well, the city supervisor, the then mayor, and various other members of the city staff and the elected officials came to my bedside saying, Moscow needs you. You've got to recover. Don't lose it. And my son echoed that. Mom, they need you. And at that very same time, the city of Moscow and Heart of the Arts named the plaza at the 1912 Center for me. And I thought, Paul Plaza, that kind of sounds good, doesn't it? And then I also thought, I really must have my foot on the banana peel if they're naming buildings after me. But we have this fabulous community, and you literally saved my life. So thank you very much. I want to give back by bringing that to the vibrant community that we can have for the future. And I look forward to working hard for you with all of that.
Thank you to all of our candidates. My own personal thanks, because they all listened, they all heard, and they all responded, including using the microphone and standing up. So I appreciate personally theirs. I have two other announcements to make. One is thank you to everyone who brought food for the food bank. We do this at our regular meetings. Our next one will be December. This month, the food will go to the Genesee Food Bank. Thank you, Judy and Jerry, for being my carters and taking it all away. In December, which is our holiday meeting,